Hello guys, and I welcome you back to Slap HTML CSS tutorials. Now we have something installed for you. We have this web page designed by yours truly, Slap, and we are going to build this web page. So without any further ado, let's go into it. Let's open a notepad. Alright, we have a notepad canvas set up here. I'm just going to open this up, and as always, the first thing we have to do is we need a canvas. Alright, so that we need a skeleton. Sorry, that is my skeleton. You should have yours. So we're going to create this web page step by step with no step skipped. Alright, so let's save this and let's save it as slapx. Slapx1.html means slap exercise 1.html. Alright, so if you save that, as always, I would really like to go into this. Open with Google Chrome. Alright, so I know I have this. Alright, so I'm on track. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at this. We have these really big slab creations and it really looks like a heading. So we're just going to ahead and go and say, okay, that's heading. We're going to create a heading. The first thing we're going to do is create a heading with slab creation. So we're going to go into the body tag and be like h1 slab creations. Close the heading tag, h1 tag. Alright, so we save that. We see slab creations. Next are two buttons, no more and watch video. Alright, so two buttons. Let's save that and reload. Now I want you to pay keen attention to the buttons here. They have a space in between. Meanwhile here we don't. Okay, so this is not CSS or any crazy thing. It's just we don't have a space bar there. So if you put a space bar right here, save it and reload, that's a space in between. Next up, we have all of this gigantic text. Now there is something you need to pay peculiar note. This right here could be a heading. Alright, we are slap. It is a heading. Logically it's a heading, but which heading tag have you seen with its size? Okay, we have seen 6 heading tags and h1 is not even this big. Okay, so definitely this has been styled. Okay, it could be a styled heading. So in order not to confuse ourselves, we're going to just use a plain old text in the paragraph. Okay, so I'm going to come down here and open up a paragraph, open and close the paragraph. We are slap. Right, keep in mind that this is underlined. Save it and refresh, so you have we are slap. And the next is the whole of this text. Slap will help you face all your worries, etc, etc. So clearly speaking, from my experience, you can say this we are slap and all of this text down here is in one paragraph, but from understanding you're going to notice that there are 2 different paragraphs. So we're just to avoid any error and to make more CSS happen, we are going to do 2 separate paragraphs for it. So I'm just going to copy all of this text. I urge you guys to type it out now while you still can. So I'm just going to leave the screen right here. Alright, hope you should have copied it. You should be 5-type piece for your GC, because trust me, nobody will be there to pamper you. Okay, so I have copied and paste. If you haven't typed it, no problem, you're still going to see it from time to time and be able to type it. Now I'm going to save this and I'm going to come here and reload, so I have my text there. Okay, so that's basically everything in the form of text on this page. So what next is we go straight forward to our CSS stylings. Now we have the stylings for the big heading, the buttons, and all of this down here in the red background. Okay, so the first thing I would say we should style is the buttons, because it's pretty much easier. Okay, so I'm just going to go to my header tag like we did in the previous tutorials. I'm just going to I'm going to say style. Alright, and it's a button So I'm just going to do button, alright? Style both buttons and have them have a color, a background color of orange. Okay, save that and see if it works. Good. Secondly, it has a border. If you look closely, you're going to see it has a border, but here hasn't a border. So how are we going to fix this? We're going to do border none. Alright, reload and you see, okay, we are actually on track. Secondly, we want to make the background of all of this to be red. How are we going to do that? Now these are two paragraphs, so I'm just going to go here and in the style tag I will be like P and I'll say background color red. Okay, close that, save it, reload, and you have a red background color. Now it's supposed to appear like this because they are actually two separate backgrounds, alright? Two separate backgrounds. So it cannot be joined yet, but still doing a styling. So the slab heading, it is really big and it is white, but we're not going to change the coloring yet. We're not going to change the coloring of it yet. Okay? So we have a white canvas and we have a white heading, so I don't want to change the heading now, and quite frankly I don't want to put the image now. We can do that the last thing. Okay, so what we're going to do is the text size. We're going to increase the text size of this. We are slab, and slab will help you face your worries. Alright, so I'm just going to go to my notepad, and probably the font size we don't quite know yet, so we're just going to mingle around. So for the paragraph, we're going to say font. Okay, sorry, I cannot change the font size in the global paragraph because if you look well, you see the paragraphing, the size here is not the same as the size here. So what I'm going to do is give each of them unique IDs. So the first paragraph will be like ID P1, and the second one I'll give it an ID of P2. Okay, so I could always come here and say hashtag P1, hashtag P2, give this a font size of 50 pixels. Meanwhile, I give this a font size of 30 pixels. Save that and reload. Okay, we're getting there. Alright, now something I would like to pay your attention to is the space above. Alright, the space above here is really large and everything here is centered. Everything on the screen is centered. So we're just going to do the centering first. So center this, center the button, center all of the text. Okay, so how do we do that? In the paragraph, the general paragraph, we're just going to do text align center the buttons. Now the buttons are not going to be done text aligned, because that if you do text align, we'll be aligning the text in the button. So we're going to use a center tag. So we'll come where we have the button tag, and we're just going to put a center tag. Just going to engrave it in the center tag. Alright, like so. And we have the heading, the big heading H1. I'm just going to come here. Text align center. Alright, save that, come here, reload, and we see buttons in the middle. Okay, oh, excuse me, the buttons in the middle, the text in the middle, there's a little problem here. Alright, so I'm just going to quickly fix that up. Okay, the issue is because of the center tag here. I didn't close well, I didn't close at all. Alright, so I'm just going to come here and reload. Okay, good. So this slab creation still has a problem. Not to worry. It's because I actually use H1 as an ID. Meanwhile, it is not an ID. To refresh. So you have everything in the center. But now what about the space above? Now the space above is called a margin. Alright, it's called a margin. So how do we work with margins? Now I want to give you a brief overview of margins. Okay, margins and paddings. Okay, so I'm just going to go below my HTML document. And by the way, alright, let me take this opportunity to tell you how to do a comment in HTML. Alright, it's simply left brace, left or less than sign, exclamation point, 2 hyphens, and then you type in whatever you want to type, and then 2 hyphens and close. Alright, so everything that is here is totally ignored by your browser. So we're going to talk about margins and paddings. Alright, so basically a margin, what is a margin? A margin is like what you've always known, like you draw a margin in your book. It is the length and width. Okay, seeing that this thing is engraved in something of this length and something of this width. Okay, it deals with the height, it deals with how wide it is. Those are the margins. Or sometimes people want to go to the extra of calling it borders. Alright, paddings on the other hand are the thickness of the margins. Okay, so you can have a margin of thickness 1 centimeter, but if you increase the thickness, you're now doing what you call padding. Okay, your margins are set fixed, but the thickness of it increases, so that is called the padding. I don't think there's any other way I can explain this, but I hope it gets to you. Okay, so we don't need that comment there. So for the heading tag, I'm going to do a margin. Okay, and I'm going to arrange the top margin. CSS, you can arrange the top margin, the bottom margin, the left margin, the right margin, or just arrange all the margins totally. Okay, so I'm going to put that to 350 pixels. I'm going to take the font size to 100 pixels. I'm going to save it and I'm going to view it here. Alright, so we have something similar. Alright, so but the thing is, the font family here is Cambria, right? If you have used font families before building web pages, you're going to be consistent with looking at the font and knowing that, hey, I know this font family. Okay, so this is not Cambria, so I'm just going to go over here and do font family. Save it and reload. So now you have the same font family. Alright, so basically everything, the CSS is being put together little by little. So let's increase the size of the buttons so they actually look like this. Alright, so we're going to go back to our notepad. Okay, button, and we're going to do the font size. I'm going to do a font size of 20 pixels, and I want the padding. Okay, but I won't put the padding yet, so you see how the padding comes about, like the real difference. Okay, so that's it. So that's it, the font size, and I'm going to do the padding now, 10 pixels. Save it, and now watch clearly the difference. You see that the margin stayed in place, but the thickness increased. Alright, if you didn't see it, I would urge you to try over and over and again, so you really see and understand paddings and margins. So another thing is the space between this heading and the buttons. It is not even here, so I'm just going to do another margin top, negative 200 pixels. Okay, to make it go up by negative 200 pixels. Alright, so probably if I could do negative 100. Alright, so just for certain circumstances it's got to be that way. So we are slab blah blah blah. Now one key aspect I'm going to do is the merging of these two paragraphs. Alright, we've been doing margin top, we're reducing margin top continuously, so this is now time to apply margin top reduction. Okay, so I'm just going to reduce the margin, the top margin of the whole of this paragraph. So come here, it is P2. So I'm going to come down here and do margin top. Alright, reload. Okay, so now I want to increase the padding, and I'll increase it to, let's just say 10 pixels. Save that and go to our browser and reload, where we see that. Okay, now there's something wrong. Okay, despite the fact that this text is not yet white, there's something wrong. Look at the way the text is shown. You have slab will help you all up to studies. Okay, and after studies it is broken to we, and it is broken from rich down to B and enter today. So you have actually 3 lines. So but here we have 2 lines, and if you want to know what happened, a break statement was actually used, because when I did the copying, it didn't copy on 1 line. Alright, this is how we copied it up. It copied a line showing that after this line something happened, after this line something happened. Alright, so we're going to come here and put break statements, save it, reload, and we have it the same way it is. So what I'm going to do now is change the color in the general paragraph tag, change it to white. Sorry, omitted semicolon here. Save that. Good. That is exactly what we have. If you see, everything is changing, but except what we have at the edge. Alright, so what else are we supposed to do now? We have the buttons in place now. I think we can actually add the background right now. Now to add the background is very easy. You need an image, and Slab has this image already. We have the image. I will try to put the image in the description. So right now the image is in my Slab HTML CSS folder, home. Alright, here's the image. There it is. So this is the image we're actually going to use. So I'm going to show you how to put a background image in HTML. Okay, so for the body, now we could do this. Now this is all the styling, so I'm just going to come here, and it's the body background image. Okay, so I'm just going to do the body tag, and inside here I'll do background image. Okay, background image. So you have a URL, and here between these quotes is where you type the name of the image. So it's home, and it's a JPG in JPG format. So save that, go to your browser, reload. Now we have that. Okay, so I think now I can change this text to white. There we have it. But this is exactly the CSS, but it is not what we have here word for word. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to style this. Alright, the image size, so it should look exactly like this. That's the same image, but it was styled. Alright, it was styled. So I'm going to go here and do background size. I'll do background size, and I'll take it to 2000 pixels. Save that, reload, and you see it looks a little something like 8. Alright, little something, but this is still smaller, so I'm going to reduce it by 200. So I'll be 1800 pixels. There we have it. Okay, this is exactly the CSS styling of this. Okay, so I think it's safe to say everything is the same. Okay, so this is the example, this is the tutorial which was done ahead of time, and this is what we just did now. So I'm swapping, and you're actually seeing no changes because it's the same thing. Okay, so that being said, you have actually, if you have actually understood this, then you have understood CSS. So I'm going to review this. So what did we do? We have our heading, Slab creations. We have 2 buttons with background color orange, and the color of the text is black. You have this beautiful text down here in red background, and please do not be convinced otherwise. Slab will actually help you face all your worries as concerned with your advanced level computer studies. Alright, we'll bring the best and make ourselves 100% within reach. So be part of the Slab community. Now, to be part of the Slab community is to study with us, appreciate us, because we're helping you out. Alright, I'm sorry I had to read it word for word, but I had to emphasize on it. Okay, so all that is done. How do we start? We have to create a heading. then we created our buttons, and then we created this text, and then did the CSS styling in the head section. Okay, so most of this styling you're not going to remember every single thing. You're not going to remember it because there are a lot of them, but for your advanced level, I hope you do memorize this. Okay, we could not really treat everything in this tutorials because we would have done tables, forms, lists, etc., but we have treated it in other tutorials. Okay, and we will help you out if you reach to us directly, probably through our WhatsApp platforms. So what I want to show you now is something additional to CSS. This is inline styling, okay, internal styling, where you do it in the same document as your HTML code. Okay, so what if my CSS styling was out of this document and I want to link my HTML code to the CSS styling? Very simple. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take all of this from the body tag right up to P2 where it ends, and I'm going to just copy. Sorry, I should have kept. Alright, I don't need this anymore. So save this and go and reload, and you're going to see this really ugly page. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to open a new document, Control N. You do that, open a new document, or you come here, file, you have new, or you take new window, just open new. Alright, so I'm going to paste this there. Just paste it there and save it as slapx 1.css. okay, now CSS files are saved with the .css extension. HTML files are saved with the .html or .htm extension. Alright, so that being saved doesn't mean we are done. Okay, and I'm just going to leave this there, going to open up a new document, Control O. I'm going to open up this document, slap1x, okay, slapx1, sorry. Now I'm going to do the linking. How do you do the linking? It is done in the head section with the link tag, and there's something else attributed to it. So I'll do link, and inside the link tag, the first thing we do is this. Alright, we have to clear some certain attributes, make ourselves known that hey, this is what we call a style sheet. Make the HTML code know I want to link this page to CSS, so we do style sheet. Another attribute, type, the type of document is a CSS document. Okay, so it's a text document and it's in CSS format. And then we do href, okay, as done in the link tag, normal link tag. We do href and we do write the name of the document, so it is slapx, oops, slapx1.css. Save that up, go to your browser and reload your browser, and we have this. Okay, so I have shown you how to style in the header document of the same HTML code, that is internal styling, and I've shown you external styling. So I have taught you how to link up HTML documents to a another web document, and I've shown you how to link HTML documents to a CSS document. Alright, so all that being said, all that being done, if you have followed from the very beginning to now, congratulations, because you have actually finished the tutorials on HTML and CSS. Other things will be handled out of video format, but we have done the best we can, and we do hope these videos do help you a lot. Okay, so just going to let you off for now. Slap out.